Today, let's talk about limiting beliefs and how a limiting belief can actually hold you back from the good quality sleep you deserve. And I also want to talk about empowering belief because once we recognize what our limiting beliefs are, how do we then change that into an empowering belief that will actually help us fall asleep, stay asleep, and get good quality sleep? My name is Carol Richard. I'm the founder of the Sleep Success Academy, and we help sleep deprived individuals who are struggling with sleep get the sleep they deserve. And we do that by looking at the emotional well-being, the beliefs, and the behaviors that you're doing. And possibly we can do all this without sleep aids or any medication or complicated bedtime rituals. That's the goal. The goal is to get you sleeping as easily and as quickly as possible by looking at the emotional well-being, the beliefs, and the behaviors that you're doing. So before we get into this talk about limiting beliefs, why don't you go to my website, sleepsuccessacademy.com, get a copy of your free guide, 5 action steps to improve the quality of your sleep. And once you've done that, you just got to go on the homepage, scroll about halfway down. You will see where you can actually put your name and email address and get that free guide. You will also be subscribed to my email list, where you will receive my weekly email with either a YouTube video or blog or any other information that I share with you so that we can get you sleeping. All right, so let's look at limiting beliefs and what are they and how are they holding us back from either falling asleep or staying asleep? Well, a limiting belief is a belief that we hold that is true for us in the moment. And our beliefs, they actually create our reality. And a lot of times, and for most of us, we don't realize that it's a limiting belief holding us back. Might say things like, well, that's just how it is for me. And I've always been this way. But we don't realize that underneath those comments, there's an actual limiting belief that is creating that reality for us. And so some examples of limiting belief when it comes to sleep might be things like, well, I've never been a good sleeper anyway. And that's true if you've never been a good sleeper. And keeping that belief active in your mind will actually create the reality that you might never be a good sleeper in the future. Another belief would be like, I never sleep well the night before I need to catch a flight in the morning. I hear that one often. We know we have a big presentation, we have something big the next day. And so the night before, we don't sleep well because really our brain never shuts off because it doesn't want us to miss the flight. And therefore, we're activated, we're in a fight or flight mode. That stops us from sleeping, but we associate that with, I can't sleep because I have a flight tomorrow morning. And it creates this limiting belief. Another one, and the one that I will use to create an example of how to get over the limiting belief in this video is the one like, it's Sunday night and I just never sleep well on Sunday evenings. And that is a belief that some people hold because it's also their reality. And as we go through this video, you'll understand why they've created that reality for themselves. You'll understand why people can create these beliefs and it be true for them. And then we'll also talk about how do we change that. So I want to bring in the empowering belief here because it's important to know the difference between a limiting belief and an empowering belief. And I'm going to use myself as an example because I just like a few weeks ago, I had a really difficult week. And I found myself saying things like, I don't know how I'm going to make it through. This is so hard. It's not fair. And so all these limiting beliefs were coming up about the situation that I was experiencing. And I wasn't able to see that my belief system was holding me in that situation. I won't give you details of the situation because that doesn't really matter, but it's the fact that that was the beliefs I had about that situation. And as I started doing the tapping and releasing the emotions and started changing my behavior and looking at my belief, and I realized what was going on, my beliefs started changing and I started having more empowering beliefs show up in my mind. Things like, if I can make it through this week, I can make it through anything. See how empowering that is compared to like, it's unfair. I'll never make it through this. This is so hard. My belief changed. If I can make it through this, I can make it through anything. And then as the time went on, it changed to even more like, I'm so strong and I'm capable of doing hard things. I'm capable of having bad weeks, still sleeping, or a few nights weren't great sleep. But then my belief was, I know it's just a phase. I know I will get out of it. I know it's just a moment. But then, the belief, I'm strong, I'm powerful. Oh my God, I am capable of anything. Those are the uplifting, empowering belief that showed up for me that made me go through that situation easier And now what it's going to do for future situations that are similar, I'm going to say, I've made it through already once through something really hard. This is nothing, or this is equally hard, but I can do it. Or if it's harder, I'll say, look, I had the strength to make it through before. I can do it again. And so that's how we start creating empowering belief. And when we live from those empowering beliefs, then life becomes easier. But when we're trying to live from the limiting beliefs, life is hard. But that's our truth. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just what we believe in the moment. And so if we take the example of, I can't sleep on Sunday evenings, like Sunday night really sucks for me because I can never fall asleep. I want to break that down, how you would change that into a more empowering belief for yourself by looking at the three components that we always have to look at. First, what is the emotion behind it, or the emotional well-being? Then we look at the behavior, but we already have the behavior of, it's impossible for me to sleep on Sunday nights. And then we're going to look, so that was a belief. And then we're going to look at the behavior. So emotional well-being, belief, and then the behavior that is causing that belief to be in place. And so first thing, so say that's your belief. If that's not your belief, find a belief that is true for you and see if you can't do this process in your mind as we go along. So first thing, it's Sunday evening. Just picture that in your mind. You know you're not going to sleep. What is the emotion that is showing up? Is it frustration because it's another Sunday night without sleep? Is it dread because the Monday morning you're going to be tired? Is it resentment because maybe your partner is just laying there sleeping and you're not because you can't fall asleep? So that's the first thing you're going to want to do. There's a video, and there's many videos on my channel where you can start to learn how to tap using tapping to reduce that emotional charge so that you can fall asleep. That's the first thing. The second thing is, we know this is the belief. It's not possible for me to sleep on Sunday nights. Now let's look at the behavior. What is the behavior that is causing that belief? And with this one, for me, is quite easy to explain because I've explained it before. There's a Sunday night anxiety video. You can also look at that one if this is the issue for you, but this is how we would start breaking it down. Either by yourself, doing some research, contacting someone who has knowledge in that area and say, why am I holding this belief and why can I not sleep on Sunday nights? I would say to you, if we were working together, most likely you're not sleeping if you have changed your sleep schedule, a different sleep schedule. Like during the week, I go to bed at 9, wake up at 5. And then on the weekend, I decided I was going to sleep till 8. And then so that's Saturday morning, I don't wake up till 8. So Saturday night, I go to bed later because I was out of bed later. And what that does, it shifts our circadian rhythm, our 24-hour body clock rhythm. And then Sunday morning, I don't get out of bed till 8 or 9 because now I've slept later, and my body, that's all it takes for our body to shift that body clock. And now on Sunday night, I'm trying to go to bed at my 9 o'clock, but I haven't given my body enough hours awake to actually be able to create the adenosine in my brain that fills my sleep drive, that tells my body that it's time to go to sleep. And I've probably also changed the release of melatonin that happens from that 24-hour circadian rhythm to say that usually my melatonin might release at 8:30, but because I've made these last 2 nights difficult on myself and by changing my sleep schedule, now my melatonin might not release until 10 p.m. So I'm trying to go to bed at 9 when my body is not ready to go to bed at 9. So it creates this belief that Sunday nights are hard for me to fall asleep. I can never fall asleep on Sunday nights. And so then the question and the choice comes to you is, you can either keep a steady sleep schedule 7 days a week, and then you won't have this issue, and then the belief will go away because you'll be able to fall asleep on Sunday night. Or you might decide, okay, now that I know this, thank you, Carol, for the information, but I'm going to choose to sleep later on the weekends, knowing that on Sunday night, my body will not be ready to go to sleep. And the empowering belief that comes from that for me, as I'm, because I do that sometimes. If I have company on the weekend, I'll stay up later. I try to keep the same sleep schedule, but if I have company and I want to stay up later, then on Sunday night, I either stay up an hour later because I know my body's not ready for sleep, and I kind of tune into my body. When are you ready to fall asleep? I don't go lay in bed at 9 knowing I won't fall asleep till 10:30, because that creates an hour and a half where my brain has time to start worrying and creating all these negative sleep association with my bed. And I don't want that. So I'll just stay up. I'll read a book maybe on the couch. I'll maybe listen to a soft, calming, boring podcast so I don't activate my brain anymore. And then I will go to sleep. But I will not then hold this anxiety and this frustration about not being able to go to sleep because I'm understanding why. So that's how we start breaking down limiting beliefs, by helping you understand what are the emotions behind it and what's the behavior that you're doing that is making that belief true for you in that moment, because beliefs are true. They are our reality. And from those beliefs, we create the reality that we live each day. So that's all I want to say about beliefs. I hope this helped you. If you are struggling with figuring out your limiting belief, reach out to me. You can book an optimal sleep assessment. I'm going to put the link in the description below. Just go to my website, Sleep Success Academy, go talk to a sleep coach, click on that, and you can book your optimal sleep assessment. It's free. You'll come chat with me for half an hour and we'll see what is getting in the way of you falling asleep and staying asleep and getting that good quality sleep. Because I know since I've been sleeping so well in the last 6-7 years, my life has changed because I'm no longer stressed about not being able to sleep. And that's what I want for you. So until next time.